Do you think this is going to go down as the closest MVP race in NBA history?
What is the closest MVP race?
That's a tough ass question.
Embiid, Jokic.
Is it like
MJ,
by votes?
MJ Malone in 97
98
or 98, something like that.
Which one? The one that MJ lost?
I think that was
so 97.
Lost, yeah.
2017, Harden, Russ, and Kawhi. 2008, Kobe, LeBron,
15,
Chris Paul,
Steph
and Wade.
Harden was pretty close.
There's been a couple close MVP races, but usually, like with SGA and Jokic last year, it was really just between two. There's very few years in history where it feels like it's
Multiple
between
players.
3 to 4 players, even 5 players.
What's the 5
In
players?
89-90, it was Magic.
The
Barkley,
5 players.
Jordan,
Yeah, tell me the 5 players.
SGA,
Malone and Jordan.
Jokic, Giannis, Wemby. I don't have a fifth.
Luka Doncic.
Luka?
I can hear it.
Does Ant-Man name pop up in this?
It's because he's injured. That's the reason I haven't included him in this convo, because as of right now, he doesn't deserve to be. Right now.
Luka, you're saying?
Yeah, right now.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man as well.
I think Ant-Man is more like the outside dark horse chance.
He's like the Jason Tatum.
He's just got to, I mean, he's missing 2 weeks, right? So
Yeah.
that's probably, like 8-ish to 10 games. He doesn't have a lot of leeway rest of the way.
And Luka in his first 2 games averaged like 46, 12.
No. He's on time.
Yeah.
I'll be quite frank with you guys. Unless one of these teams rough off 55, 60 games, I don't know if it would be that close.
You think SGA is running it back?
Yes, in the sense of, OKC's going to probably win 60 plus again. So, like, they're going to have like last year, what did they have? Like 13 more wins than the next opponent.
Yeah.
So they're going to have a ton of wins, and winning does matter. We looked it up. There hasn't been an MVP unless you do something historic like Westbrook or the Joker have a top 3. They have to have like a top 3 seed at minimum. So I think.
I told you can do that already.
Yeah, you told me the Spurs could do it. Denver obviously can be in that race. It's going to be interesting to see how it looks, because I do think it's going to be about seeding, because I think both of these guys, like all these guys, are going to play at an all-time level. Like Luka does it, Wemby's going to do it, SGA's going to do it, the Joker's going to. The Joker just had like 3 straight triple-doubles. 4 straight, and it still feels like offensively as a scorer, he hasn't even been there. So I think that's the scariest part. SGA has been in back-to-back overtime games, it feels like, and he's putting up some crazy numbers.
What does
Wemby's
that say
been
about
great.
OKC?
Yeah.
Wait, no J-Dub?
No J-Dub, and now Chet also is going to miss back-to-back games.
And they still might win a ton of games. So I think, will it be close? I think so. It's gonna be really heavy for the winning, because I think all these guys are gonna play at similar levels.
I don't disagree. I'm still gonna ride my guy Victor. I see the Spurs, and I feel like we're gonna talk about them in a separate topic, so I won't go too deep. But Riv, you said it in some content before. They really haven't played anyone, and I don't disagree yet. They're the toughest game I would say right now was against the Mavericks, and the Mavericks don't look good. So you give credit to them handling who's been on the schedule. They are undefeated. Wemby has been unbelievable. At the same time, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Jokic just cruising to triple doubles night in, night out. Like you said, it looks like he's just kind of in cruise control. Game's coming very easy to him. And when a player gets into that type of rhythm, that's when it gets scary. And you start to acknowledge how great they are, because they're just kind of moving mindlessly because the game's so easy to them. SGA, obviously, you see the effort that he's been putting in, night out. Luka was amazing. It sucks that he got hurt, because I do agree he should be in this conversation, but to stay consistent, I'll take him out. Giannis has a legit chance to win the MVP because of how ugly the East looks right now. The Bucks have been playing some really strong basketball. If the Bucks are a top 2 seed, I think that looks better for Giannis as opposed to the other side. I'll give him that acknowledgement. He's going to be the best player. He's doing something that a lot of people didn't have accomplishable coming into this season, finishing as a top 2 seed with the Knicks, with the Cavaliers. It's the first week. Anything can happen. Anything can change, especially when you look at the top teams in the East right now. Nevertheless, he's been playing perfect basketball. I still think Victor will do it. This is the best defensive player in the world by a lot. And on top of it, he's averaging 30. He's been amazing in his own right. Spurs haven't lost a game, but I think in the month of November, we start to see him with some real comp. The Lakers, the Rockets. That's the first week in November. So we'll start to get comfortable and really see where the Spurs are at. But it's going to be a great race. I agree. These are 5 legitimate, I don't want to go on a limb and say all-time players, because, again, we're only in year 3 of Wemby, but that's just kind of the trajectory of them. But
4 of them are.
For sure. The fact that you have Jokic, SGA, Giannis, Luka.
Yeah.
These are all-time players. That's what's going to happen when they're on the peak of their prime.
Yeah, I mean, coming into the season, it felt like a two-man race between Jokic and SGA just because of how great their teams are. But you guys aren't wrong. Like, we talk about, Ravi just mentioned how if you're not a top 2 or 3 seed, you need to do something historic. But all these guys are doing historic stuff. We're talking about Wemby averaging 30. He's going to be averaging, 5, 6 stocks at the end of the season.
Yum.
Giannis is putting up 36, 14, and 7 on 70% field goal percentage. He's doing historic things, and I don't think that's really going to slow down if you just look at the roster and what's needed for him night in and night out. It's either he's going to be out there playing every single night, and if they don't play, they're going to be the worst team in basketball. So you're going to look at all of the net ratings and the on-off numbers, and it wouldn't surprise me if Giannis is having historic advanced numbers as well. Luka Doncic, the same thing. It's a shame he got banged up because he would be right in the middle of this conversation. We're talking about how great Austin Reeves was. Well, I guess we're doing that in short form, but Austin Reeves has been out here averaging 40 the last 2 or 3 games, but that's what Luka was doing for the first couple. So it wouldn't shock me if Luka at the end of the year is averaging 33, 11, and 8 or something crazy. So you still have Jokic and SGA, who I still believe are going to be the best teams in terms of the Thunder and the Nuggets. But all of these other teams too, like I don't think the Bucks are gonna be whacked. Like that feels like a top 4, top 5 seed. The Spurs right now are undefeated. You talk about some of the competition they've played, but the Spurs had such different expectations, I think, for most of these other teams, where it's like if you make the play-in, that's really solid, where all of a sudden they don't need to be a top 3 seed, I think, for Wemby to be in that conversation. If they're a top 6 seed, if they even get the 5 seed, I think you're looking at Wemby like he did more than enough to be able to get his team in position, especially when you look at, De'Aaron Fox being banged up at the beginning of the season. And, you have a rookie in Harper, a second-year player in Castle. So it's obviously Victor Wembanyama's show. But yeah, like it's not crazy to say that these are 5 all-time great players. And even though Wemby's in year 3, it's like we know what Wemby's going to be, right? We don't really say it yet because it's year 3, but we know what we're seeing with our eyes. It's something we have never seen before, really on both sides of the ball. So it's year 3. He's like 21, 22 years old, but yeah, he's playing at all-time level. He's going to go down as an all-time great. God willing, he stays healthy. So it's going to be difficult for these voters. I thought maybe there'll be some voter fatigue this year with Shea, so they gave it to Jokic. But all of these guys are playing at such a high level the first 2 weeks of the season. It feels like every other game you're looking up and someone's putting up a 40-point game or someone's putting up triple doubles. We've gotten blessed so far with some of this offensive output.
I think this is going to be the tightest race in NBA history. I don't think that there's been a top 5 MVP race as talented as this, top to bottom. With all due respect to the greats of the past, I think you see Giannis and Jokic in the peak of their powers. They're doing something historic every year. SGA just is coming off the best guard season in NBA history, and they can win 70 games realistically, OKC, this season. Luka Doncic is a triple-double machine as well, and he's the best offensive player arguably in basketball. And Wemby has the combination of the ridiculous offensive numbers and then the block numbers as well, and the defensive numbers and the on and off impact. I think this MVP race is going to come down to 2 players, though. I don't think that this year Jokic is going to win. I don't think that SGA is going to win, and I don't think that Luka's going to win.
I think
agree. It's between Giannis and it's between Victor Wembanyama. I think that this is going to be the year that the voters aren't going to value the winning aspect of it as much as the performance aspect of it. That's why with OKC, SGA is a consistent 31, 5, and 5. But when you have Giannis averaging 34, 13, and 7, and you have Wembanyama averaging 31 and 14 with 6 stocks per game, I think you look at the level of impact that those 2 players are playing at, and I think it's between them. And I think this Bucks team, this iteration of them, I think is better than the last 2 years with Dame and the roster they had, because those rosters were flawed with defensive liabilities, and now they have gotten much more athletic around Giannis.
You're a Ryan Reynolds guy?
Ryan Rollins. I love Rollins. Rollins was awesome against the Knicks, and Rollins can play defense. He can play the passing lanes. He can guard. He's a good point of attack player. And then offensively, he just has to play a role. Right now, he's their second leading scorer. So I think that just the improved guard play, like I'm buying into Rollins and Cole Anthony and their roles for that given team. Mm-hmm. And then Miles Turner makes them more athletic than what Brook Lopez made them last year.
100%.
And Turner has been in a slump. He hasn't shot the ball well.
You saw what he said about your boy.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, that was wicked of him.
Yeah, I don't know. He's been on a weird tour right now recently with just his like shots at the Pacers. But
I don't blame them.
I don't. But right now, like where we stand, I think Giannis is playing at the best level of any player in the league right now.
Yeah,
Why,
so
why is it only a 2-man race?
Well, that's who I think those are the two it's going to be between this season. And the reason why is because just based on history and the MVP award, there's always voter fatigue attached to the player that just won it. I think that's SGA. I think with Jokic, he's a 3-time MVP. And this year, based on his numbers, which I think he's going to uptick his scoring, but just based on his numbers this year, if counting Luka out, he is number 4 right now in the race. And Giannis and Wemby, what they have to do on a nightly basis, their performance on a nightly basis, given the team around them, just has to be at a higher level. It just has to be superior for them to win and be a high seed. And I think the East right now is underwhelming. Like the Hawks look underwhelming, the Magic look underwhelming. Like the Bucks, there's a realistic shot that they could be a top 3 seed in the East, and if that happens, I think Giannis is going to win MVP.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know if SGA has gotten voter fatigue vibes yet. I don't like. I think when the Joker got it, I don't even know if he had it because he finished top 2 last year.
I was gonna say it's won 3 and 4 years.
Yeah, so I don't know if he like voter fatigue. I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know because I still feel like SGA is gonna have the numbers. He's gonna have the winning. It's never been not about winning.
He's gonna have the scoring and the wins. He's not gonna have.
Well, he's gonna have the efficiency. He's gonna do exactly what he did last year.
The efficiency compared to Giannis, who's right now like 74% true shooting.
They'll probably hover around the same thing. SGA is the most dominant paint toucher in the league.
Yeah, it's true.
6'6".
Well, not named. Well, not the obvious names, but yes.
For his position, yes.
He's like top of the league in efficiency. And he's like what 5-6 inches short.
No, I definitely think that SGA has a legitimate chance to win the MVP. I'm more so on the side of I think the best player in the East will be Giannis. I think the best player in the West will be Victor Wembanyama. Mm-hmm. I think that the Spurs seed will be high enough. On top of the fact this is the best defensive player, he's going to have the crazy offensive numbers on top of that as well. So that's kind of why I'm with Joel here. So you're going to have narrative on both of those sides, but Giannis, if he is a top 2 seed in the Eastern Conference,
lock it.
I think that it is pretty stamped. That is the MVP, regardless of how I may feel on Vic being the best.
And I feel like
I think the East is a little lower.
Yes,
you know?
And I feel like narrative plays a big part in it. And I feel like the narrative with Giannis this year,
whether it's fair or not, you're right.
I'm contributing to the narrative this year as well with Giannis, is the fact that he's been performing at an elite level, at a historic level for the past 4-5 seasons now, where it's consistently, he's averaging 30, 30, and 30. And it seems like because of his team being underwhelming, he has gotten outcasted in the MVP conversation. And I feel like this year that narrative is going to help him, where in previous years, it feels like Giannis has kind of went a little bit underappreciated.
True.
And now he's playing at a higher level than he's played in years past. At least it's very early in the season.
He cut his mid-ranges in half. Paint work.
And he's doing this in less than 33 minutes per game. Like these numbers that he's averaging, it's not even like
that's
he's
typical
playing.
Giannis. He's not going to play the crazy minutes, but in his minutes, he's going to be the most dominant.
Like SGA is averaging, I think,
35 a game.
35 in like 39 minutes.
They've also been in 2 double overtimes?
Yeah, they've been in 2 double overtime games. So I just think that, for me, like if I had to pick one of them to win, well, if I had to pick like 2 to win MVP, it would be Giannis and Wemby this year.
They're just shooting the same in the paint. SGA and Giannis. SGA's
That's
at
pretty crazy.
81%. Giannis is at 83. SGA's
81 is nuts.
83% on the volume though. What are the attempts on those?
Giannis is at 60 attempts. SGA is at 30.
Bro, 81?
Okay. I mean, double the attempts.
Double the attempts.
But I think you make a good point, Joel, because they're like individually, Wemby and Giannis, they're right up there with everyone, but their team expectation is so much lower than the other guys outside of maybe Luka. But like we're talking about, for SGA and Jokic, your standard for your team is like, if they're not top 1, top 2 seeds, is disappointment. If the Bucks are a 3 seed, we're like, holy shit, look what Giannis should do with that roster.
True.
Same thing with Wemby. He doesn't have to be a top 2 seed. If you're a 5 seed, you're like, holy shit, year 3 Wemby with this roster, which isn't bad by any means, but young and unproven. You're like, holy shit, how did he just do this?
Hey, SGA is more efficient in the paint than Wemby. Same attempts.
What's the percentage?
Restricted area, SGA's at 81. Wemby's at 80. In the paint, non-restricted area, Wemby's at 50. SGA's at 66.
Well, we know SGA is a better scorer than Wemby.
Yeah, I'm saying like the paint touch from a 6'6" guard, like
no, it's pretty ridiculous.
No. What he's doing is unbelievable.
Like The MVP is so tricky because it be narrative, but then it don't be, but then it do be, but then it don't be. It's never like consistent. So like, I don't know how they're gonna play it. But OKC being 5-0, no J-Dub, and now Chet's gonna be out for a little bit. It's gonna be tough. Like to outcast OKC, I think probably Giannis and the Bucks have the best chance because they'll be in the East. Like I feel like for a team in the West, you'll have to be comparable to OKC.